Welcome, everybody. Ben Legacy back here with you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys for all the engagement once again, all the newer subscribers. We are inching closer to 10,000. We're nearly there, so I thank you very much. Highly appreciated. We are going to dive into the subject of Black reparations for California residents who can basically prove their part and their stake in their family stake in slavery. So that is specifically who this is for. This isn't for every random Black resident, because as you guys well know, there are some incidences where Black Americans, particularly maybe some probably owned slaves, maybe some were owned by the Native Americans, maybe some were free. So we don't know everybody's situation. Let's just start it off by that. This reparations task force for California in particular. Now, I don't think any other state is doing this. I want to say maybe a couple of years ago, Chicago did something like this. California is wanting to do this on a mass scale. And as a Black Californian who comes from who's a descendant of slaves, I'm totally in agreement with this because it's free money for me. And my particular argument would be, hey, I'm battling on my ancestors' behalf. They would want me to speak up. I would be foolish to say, no, I don't want this free money, even though I have proof, very well documented, hardcore scientific evidence that they were definitely slaves in America at some point. And for some Black Americans, that's hard to prove. But Ancestry and 23andMe will kind of match. It'll connect the dots for a lot of shit that you're looking for. But anyway, this task force, it got assembled in 2020 after the whole George Floyd debacle. So they said, okay, what can we do better for, Black Americans, particularly in California? Reparations, let's give them money, let's give them houses, whatever. Let's just make it better. BLM, let's give the money to them. California is a liberal cesspool, so they're going to do whatever they can to give back, even though they're in deficit. Like, I think the state has like a deficit of like $22 billion or something crazy like that. Once again, I'm not going to deny that money, that check, if it comes my way. But anyway, 2020, the reparations task force gets assembled, and they've been battling throughout these years and whatnot. And thanks to George Floyd, this got assembled. And through the years, they've been back and forth. What should they put in it? But this whole team that's been assembled, and partly by this man right here, Gavin Newsom, is very interesting because no other state is doing anything like this. So basically what they're doing is they're getting numbers and getting a whole package, and they're giving it to him, and either he's going to approve it or deny it. And today was some tragic news. So California wants to pay every Black resident that can prove their descendancy from slavery. They want to pay them $1.2 million. Man, that is so much money. Now, I'm wondering if that money is taxed or untaxed, because if it's untaxed, oh boy, we is rolling in the dough. Make it rain. But anyway, I want to kind of explain more on why they want to give this money to Black residents, and mainly it's because of past misjustices that have been had towards Black Americans. And this isn't just, you don't have to have lived in California in order. That's not what this is about. This is purely off of like tracing your heritage through slavery. It doesn't matter whatever, any state. But they want to give the money mainly, because Black Americans, the redlining in the 1920s and 30s, by the banks in particular in California, the housing crisis in California that they were discriminated against, i.e. the Homestead Act, where it was pretty much illegal to sell to black people, and this is well after, slavery and through the Jim Crow era. So you couldn't even sell your house to a black person. So that's how bad it got. The mass incarceration, where you may have had a family member, and we see these guys leaking out of jail here and there, who spent 20 and 30 years from mass incarceration from probably some weed or non-DNA evidence or just some dumb shit that they weren't there, or they didn't have a great lawyer or a great representation, and discrimination, just the pullovers and stuff like that. So they feel like they have to give money for that, compensate for that, which is, hey, like I said, if they want to do that, hey, the only thing I'm going to turn down is my collar. That's all I got to say about that. So go ahead, Gavin Newsom. But I guess today was some breaking news. Today they put together this package of the 1.2 million, and this guy basically denied it. He said, I'm not going to approve pretty much this package, because eventually July 1st, I think that's when they fully got to submit it in the legislature and whatnot, and then it goes to his desk to actually sign. But as of now, he's not going to sign that package. It's not going to happen. So they have to basically go back to the drawing board. We'll see what happens. But this is something to keep your eye on, because every once in a while this is in the news, and it's building momentum, and it's moving very, very fast, faster than a lot of people are anticipating, and faster. So I'm keeping an eye on this article. Black Californians getting reparations. And we'll definitely see if it comes true. I'll let y'all know. Once again, me personally and how I feel about this, I feel like you give black Americans a check, we'll go spend it on Nike, we'll go spend it on whatever, out to eat and paying our bills and just all the normal stuff that anyone else would pay their bills with or use that money for. It's really not that much, 1.2, especially if it's taxed. So I am a true believer in, just education, obtaining skills, being on an equal playing field with those types of things, especially education, because education and knowledge is power, and you can't take that from someone. So for the time, not allowing black Americans to read was a real detriment on our social, economic type being. And, but I think we've caught up so graciously. But anyway, yeah, I'm in agreement with maybe giving, allowing black Americans 100 or 200 years of going to the Princetons and the Yales and the Harvards and everything like that, free admission. Let us get caught up. Let us be doctors and lawyers and engineers and stuff. So it's those type of positions that and firemen and whatnot that young black people need to see, so they know that they can be. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, and let's keep it real. Peace.